I would recognize the Minister of Human Services.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And it's my honor and privilege to rise today to respond to the throne speech. Mr. Speaker, I am able to speak here today because of the constituents of Calgary-McCall who put their trust and confidence in me to represent them and share their hopes with me for a better and more inclusive Alberta for everyone. I thank the people of Calgary-McCall for their support and assure them that I am committed to working hard on their behalf, have their best interests in mind, and earn the trust they have shown in me. Mr. Speaker, as the MLA for Calgary-McCall, first and foremost, I speak for and on behalf of my constituents, and in view of that, I will start by talking about the constituency and the people of Calgary-McCall. Mr. Speaker, let me begin by saying that Calgary-McCall is the most beautiful constituency in this province, and I understand that you and my colleagues in this House might have heard similar claims before, but I'm sure that by the time I will finish describing my riding, you will be convinced. Mr. Speaker, I want to recognize that Calgary-McCall is on Treaty 7 traditional territory. It is located in the northeast quadrant of the city of Calgary. It includes the communities of Castle Ridge, Falcon Ridge, Martindale, Skyview Range, Redstone, Cityscape, and my own neighborhood, Saddle Ridge, where I have been living since 2007. Calgary-McCall is one of the most ethnically diverse ridings in the province, and by extension, one of the most culturally vibrant. Calgary-McCall is home to people of Aboriginal origin, European, Asian, Caribbean, African, and Central and South American origin. And the people of Calgary-McCall get to experience this beauty and strength of cultural diversity and religion every day of their lives, whether it's through building relationships across ethnicity lines, within neighborhoods, or eating out at restaurants in the community with cuisines much different from their own, or learning a new language and culture through interacting with other parents at the park where their children play. This is what makes Calgary-McCall truly unique and most beautiful. Mr. Speaker, Calgary-McCall is a riding that celebrates Christmas and Stampede with the same vigor as it does Eid festivals, Vaisakhi, Diwali, and many other religious and cultural events. It's a riding that hoists the Canadian flag with pride on Canada Day and builds a large human poppy to honor fallen soldiers on Remembrance Day. It's a riding that sees people play cricket and field hockey in its fields in summer and boasts of outdoor skating rinks in winter. It's a riding that truly reflects and upholds Canadian values of democracy and harmony and diversity. Mr. Speaker, Calgary-McCall is home to people from all over the world who, like myself, came to Alberta with a dream of a better life, quality education for their children, reliable health care for their families, and opportunities to reach their full potential. Mr. Speaker, I came to Canada in 2004, and I have been living in Calgary ever since. When I came to Canada, the challenges in front of me were the same faced by every newcomer who comes to this country in search of a better life. I had to restart my career and my life from a new beginning, and Mr. Speaker, all things considered, I would say that my journey has been exceptionally rewarding. And I owe my success in a huge way to this country, to this province, and to the people of Calgary-McCall who enabled me to be who I am today. I'm a firm believer that no success ever belongs solely to the success holder. There is always more to it: families, friends, organizations, institutions. Therefore, I would take this opportunity to acknowledge and thank everyone who has helped me in any manner through the course of my journey. I'm also certainly indebted to everyone who stood up with progressive values and NDP principles in this province that I identify myself with today. Mr. Speaker, I have a rural and farming background, and the farm life that I witnessed growing up was much different than modern-day farming. It was more of a struggle for survival, and it required a lot of manual labor and hard work in the fields. But despite all of those struggles at home, I can't be more thankful that my family prioritized my education and I was provided the opportunity to pursue and complete my education. Those values of hard work and sacrifice are the values that I will try to live by while serving my constituents. I know as many colleagues strive to do the same. I came to Canada with a master's in economics, but as a newcomer to Canada, I worked in all kinds of starter jobs to make ends meet. One common thread in all my jobs in those days was that they were all minimum wage jobs, which helped me relate firsthand and appreciate the financial hardships that minimum wage earners go through. And based on that experience, Mr. Speaker, I can say with authority that an increase in minimum wage does and will make a difference. It will make a difference in the lives of so many hardworking Albertans, including Albertans living in my constituency whose families depend on minimum wage. I know that, and I have lived that. That is why today I'm very proud to stand with a government that recognizes the struggle of families who live on limited income and means and has committed to improving their lives because in a healthy, productive, and inclusive society, everyone matters. Mr. Speaker, in 2007, I went to University of Calgary to pursue further education. I completed my master's in social work and a law degree, and during my time at university, I worked at a homeless shelter, but financially, that wasn't enough to put me through school. I wouldn't be able to finish my schooling without the support of my elder sister, who also lives in Calgary, and the financial assistance that I received from the government in the form of student loans and scholarships. Given the trajectory in my life, I'm convinced that education has been the single most important investment that I have ever made, and I won't be standing here today without it. And as outlined in the throne speech, in this province, what we wish for ourselves, we desire for all. Mr. Speaker, I would want every Albertan to have the same opportunity that I had, and this is why I fully support my government's priority and focus on children's education and advanced education, which priority is clearly articulated by the government decision to reverse funding cuts to the education in providing a stable and predictable funding to school boards and universities, and in freezing tuition fees for post-secondary students. Mr. Speaker, while I was campaigning for my election and going door to door, talking to my constituents, I repeatedly heard concerns respecting healthcare, education, and recreation facilities in the area. Many parents share with me that they had to send their children to school in the northwest and southeast quadrants of the city, and it was not just an inconvenience for the parents, but also was unfair to the children who spend a lot of time in commuting. Other concerns that have been shared by my constituents are the need for schools with English as second language focus and need for more facilities such as funeral home with culturally appropriate services and additional sports facilities. Although we do have an amazing recreation facility called the Genesis Center in my riding that welcomes over 1 million residents per year for a variety of programs and services, we do still need more such facilities. These issues reflect the social and infrastructure deficit that we inherited and that need to be dealt with. Mr. Speaker, it makes me proud that our government has committed to an investment of $34 billion in much-needed infrastructure projects that Alberta currently lacks but crucially needs. I'm pleased that there are 6 new schools planned for Calgary-McCall, including the Nelson Mandela High School, which is due to open this fall. In coming days and months, I look forward to working with my colleagues on all issues that matter to my constituents and all Albertans. Mr. Speaker, I also held 2 open houses on January 9th and March 26th in my constituency to learn about the constituents' views on various issues and gather their feedback and input so that I am able to represent them better. The constituents shared their views and valuable feedback relating to many issues. However, economy and job situation topped the discussion. Also, like many other Albertans, they stressed the need to cut reliance on a single commodity, a single price, and a single market. I also note that my constituency is home to many new Canadian and lower-income Albertans, and based on available data, the average household income in this constituency compares lower to other constituencies in Calgary, and unemployment rate in this constituency has remained higher than provincial average. I'm pleased that Thorn's speech prioritizes expanding access to workforce and skill training and retraining for unemployed. It articulates government commitment to diversifying the economy and supporting small and medium-sized businesses with venture capital, investing in a green and more sustainable economy, and investing in necessary infrastructure. I'm confident that the initiatives and priorities identified in the Throne speech will lead Alberta to emerge with an economy stronger than ever and thus benefiting my constituents and all Albertans. I'm also very pleased that our government is standing up for Albertans who are facing immediate hardships. At times like these, we must think of our children first. The new child benefit will provide $340 million for up to 380,000 children in low-income families, and it certainly will go a long way to address child poverty in this province and help families make ends meet. Mr. Speaker, prior to getting elected, I was practicing law in the field of Aboriginal law, and I am very pleased that Thorn's speech indicated the repeal of Bill 22 and commitment to engage Indigenous communities on future consultation framework. I also note that the Thorn speech outlined the government desire to consult on a new Indigenous Peoples Sacred Ceremonial Objects Repatriation Act. From my previous work experience and conversation with my colleagues from legal profession, I can appreciate how important these steps are for Indigenous people, and I am very proud to be a part of the government that believes in and is taking steps towards renewing the relationship with Indigenous communities in this province. And also, it shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone that I have a background in labor movement, and I'm very pleased to see government taking steps to implement the Supreme Court of Canada ruling respecting worker rights to strike. I'm confident that the act to implement a Supreme Court ruling governing essential services will protect and strengthen the rights of hardworking Albertans who dedicate their lives to serve fellow Albertans. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I would like to acknowledge and thank my constituents once again for putting their faith in me to speak for them. I would also like to thank my family and my friend whose consistent encouragement gave me the strength to follow my passion and my dream. Also, I am indebted and thankful forever to everyone who supported me in my journey and inspired me to do my best and be my best. I know that I am here because of all of them and the people of Calgary-McCall, and I pledge to never let them down. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.